This is a feathered chain stitch or a chained feather stitch. It's a cross between a feather stitch and a chain stitch, and just so that it's easier to see, work it on 4 evenly spaced lines, and we're going to turn them so that they're a 45-degree angle when we're working. So we're going to bring our needle out at the end on the bottom line, so the furthest one to the left. Pull the thread up. Then we are going to go back down in the same hole where we came up, so just like we're making a chain stitch. And we're going to go straight up, so we're going at a 45-degree angle to the next line or the second line. We want our working thread to be under the needle, pull through, and then we're going to take a straight stitch straight up again. So if we had it sitting this way, it'd be at a 45-degree angle, and go down in the third line. Then we are going to come up on the fourth line, and we want it to be straight across from where this stitch ended. So over here, we're going to come here, and again we're going to go down into the same hole, and we want to bring the needle up right there at the end of that straight stitch. Working thread is under the needle, pull through, and then we are going to take our needle down in the second line from the left, so straight across. Then we are going to come up again on that first line on the left or at the bottom, and it's going to be straight across from this point. Back down in the same hole. Come up at the end of that straight stitch. Working thread is under the needle, pull through, a straight stitch straight up, so into the third line. Then we're going to come out on the fourth or the top line or the right line, however you're looking at it. We're going to come out straight across from the end of that stitch, the chain, go down in the same hole, come up at the end of our straight stitch that was on the third line. Working thread is under the needle, pull through, and then we do a straight stitch over to the second line from the left. We're going to come back up on the first line, so the one on the bottom or to the left. Again, it's straight across from the end of that chain. Down in the same hole, up at the end of that straight stitch, pull through, and then down into the third line, straight up. So there we go again, and again we're coming up on our fourth line, straight over from the top of that stitch. Back down in the same hole, so we're basically making a lazy daisy without tacking it off. Threads under the needle, pull through, and we're going 45 degrees if we were looking at the line this way. So straight over. Then we're coming up again on our first line. We went down on the second line. Straight over from the top of this stitch into the same hole, taking the needle in at the end of that straight stitch, working thread under the needle, so that straight stitch ended on the second line. Pull through, a straight stitch up to the third line, and then back up on the fourth or the top line, straight across from that point. And then just another detached chain or lazy daisy, and we just keep doing this all the way down. Now, we're actually working from the top down, so if we rotate that, this is usually the top of this stitch. When we're finished, you can just take a straight stitch down to the next line it should have been and finish off on the back.